Oldsmobile's Diesel V8 most failed.
Here they come, Elmer. The best-selling diesels in America. 21 different models of the 1980 Oldsmobile Diesel V8s.
For you,
There they go, Elmer.
Oldsmobile.
In the late 1970s, General Motors took a bold step by introducing the 5.7 Diesel V8 engine in Oldsmobile cars. The idea behind the engine was to meet growing demand for better fuel efficiency and to comply with rising environmental concerns. However, despite the initial optimism, the engine became infamous for its many technical failures, earning the title of one of the most failed diesel 5.7 V8 engines in automotive history. In this video, we will explore the reasons why Oldsmobile's Diesel V8 engine, despite its potential, ultimately failed, and what lessons can be learned from this ambitious yet flawed project. So sit back, relax, and let's take a journey through the reasons why Oldsmobile's Diesel V8 engine failed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Muscle Car Masters channel for more fascinating automotive insights. Historical context and motivation. Did you know that by the late 1970s, General Motors, the largest automaker in the U.S., was facing an uphill battle to meet new fuel efficiency standards? The introduction of the Corporate Average Fuel Economy, or CAFE regulations in 1978, required a drastic shift in the way vehicles were designed. This posed a major challenge, especially for GM's full-size models, which were integral to its profits. To navigate this challenge, GM turned to an unexpected solution: diesel power. The Oldsmobile 5.7-liter with 350 cubic-inch diesel V8 engine was introduced as part of GM's strategy to meet these new regulations. Diesel engines were known for their fuel efficiency, and with diesel fuel widely available, it seemed like a practical choice. The 5.7-liter diesel V8 promised the smooth performance and power GM's larger cars needed while delivering impressive highway fuel economy around 30 miles per gallon. This engine initially appeared to be the perfect solution, but it soon faced significant reliability issues that ultimately led to its discontinuation by 1985. Despite the setbacks, the 5.7-liter diesel V8 played an important role in shaping GM's future engine development. It highlighted the challenges of adapting existing technology to meet regulatory demands and influenced the eventual evolution of more reliable diesel engines in future models. Development and design. The development and design of Oldsmobile's 5.7-liter diesel V8 were a mix of high hopes and cost-saving measures that ultimately shaped its controversial legacy. Introduced in the 1978 model year, the engine was initially exclusive to Oldsmobile, but quickly expanded across GM's divisions, including Cadillac. The intent was clear: to leverage diesel technology for fuel efficiency and compliance with the ever-tightening KEF standards. However, the approach taken by GM and Oldsmobile in designing the engine laid the groundwork for both its potential and its problems. The 5.7-liter diesel was built on the foundation of Oldsmobile's highly successful 5.7-liter with 350 cubic-inch gasoline V8 engine. This decision was driven by the desire to save on development costs and accelerate the timeline to bring the diesel engine to market. The diesel version retained the same architecture as the gasoline V8, including its 4.057-inch bore and 3.385-inch stroke. However, this strategy led to technical challenges that contributed to the engine becoming one of the most failed diesel 5.7 V8 engines in automotive history, as it lacked the durability required for diesel combustion, ultimately causing reliability issues that plagued its performance. In terms of performance, the first iteration of the 5.7-liter diesel produced 120 horsepower and 220 pound-feet of torque. While these figures were respectable for a diesel engine at the time, they fell short of the performance expectations set by gasoline engines. Nevertheless, the engine's ability to achieve around 30 miles per gallon on the highway was a major selling point, aligning with GM's goal to improve the fuel efficiency of its full-size cars, particularly in the Oldsmobile and Cadillac lineups. However, the failed diesel V8 5.7 V8 engines struggled with reliability, ultimately leading to their poor reputation. Despite the initial excitement surrounding the engine, the decision to base the 5.7-liter diesel on a gasoline engine architecture proved problematic. The design lacked the robust construction typically required for diesel engines, leading to reliability issues that plagued its early production years. To GM's credit, many of these issues were addressed in later iterations, and by the end of its production run in '85, the 5.7-liter diesel had become a relatively reliable power plant. However, by this point, the damage to GM's reputation had already been done, and consumer trust was difficult to rebuild. Oldsmobile's experimentation with diesel technology didn't stop with the 5.7-liter V8. For the 1979 model year, the division introduced a smaller 4.3-liter with two 60-cubic-inch diesel V8 with a 3.5-inch cylinder bore. This engine was designed for more compact applications, but produced only 90 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque. From 1982 to 1985, Oldsmobile also developed a 4.3-liter V6 diesel engine that delivered 85 horsepower and 165 pound-feet of torque, which was used in GM's mid-size rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive cars. While these engines expanded GM's diesel lineup, they shared similar reliability challenges that further contributed to the company's struggles in the diesel market. In hindsight, GM's reliance on adapting an existing gasoline engine design for diesel use was a flawed strategy. While it reduced costs and sped up development, it compromised the engine's durability and performance. A more effective approach would have been to design a diesel engine from the ground up, tailored to the specific demands of diesel combustion. Such an investment might have delayed the engine's release and increased initial costs, but it could have prevented the long-term reputational damage and financial losses that GM ultimately faced. Instead, the 5.7-liter diesel V8 became one of the worst Oldsmobile's diesel V8 engines. Core reasons for failure. Do you know why the Oldsmobile 5.7-liter diesel V8 engine failed? Initially, the Oldsmobile 5.7-liter diesel V8 engine, originally introduced to meet CAFE standards for GM's full-size cars, became infamous due to overheating, poor performance, and reliability issues. The primary reasons for its failure stemmed from rushed development, design flaws, and its failure to meet the demands of a proper diesel engine. The engine was developed quickly to comply with the corporate average fuel economy standards, which led to insufficient testing and the discovery of serious issues only after its release. One critical issue was the engine's high compression ratio, almost 3 times that of typical gasoline engines, placing stress on components not designed to handle the higher thermal loads. This resulted in catastrophic failures such as blown head gaskets and chronic overheating, particularly in hot weather due to the inadequate cooling system. Moreover, the engine suffered from mechanical failures in key components like the fuel pump and diesel injection system, which led to frequent breakdowns and costly repairs for customers. As a result, GM's reputation, particularly for Oldsmobile and Cadillac, took a significant hit. Many frustrated customers abandoned GM in favor of other brands, and the company struggled to recover from the public relations disaster that followed. Drawbacks of diesel engines at the time. The Oldsmobile 5.7-liter diesel engine, like many diesel engines of the time, faced several inherent limitations that made it less suitable for luxury and full-size vehicles. While the engine's reliability issues were the main cause of its failure, other characteristics were also problematic, especially in comparison to gasoline-powered engines and the expectations of consumers. These limitations ultimately contributed to the failed Oldsmobile's Diesel V8 engines becoming a symbol of rushed innovation and poor engineering decisions. One of the most noticeable drawbacks of diesel engines during this era was the noise. Diesel engines, including the 5.7-liter engine, were notorious for producing a loud, distinctive rattle sound, similar to what you would hear from a work truck or heavy-duty vehicle. For luxury car owners, accustomed to the smooth, quiet operation of gasoline engines, this noise was a significant inconvenience. While Mercedes-Benz diesel owners seemed to acclimate to this sound, it was a more jarring experience for Oldsmobile owners, detracting from the luxurious experience that brands like Oldsmobile and Cadillac were aiming to provide. Another issue that plagued diesel engines of the time was the tendency to emit black exhaust smoke, particularly during acceleration. This cloud of smoke not only created environmental concerns, but also contributed to a tarnished image for higher-end cars that were expected to be clean and refined. For full-size luxury cars like those in the Oldsmobile and Cadillac lineup, this was a major setback, as it clashed with the sleek and premium image the brands were trying to project. In addition to the noise and smoke, diesel engines also struggled with cold weather performance. Diesel fuel thickens in colder temperatures, making it harder for engines to start in freezing weather. In extreme cases, it was necessary to use an engine block heater to warm the engine before starting, a further inconvenience for owners in colder climates. This problem was widespread in diesel engines of the time, as the technology had not yet evolved to accommodate modern cold start solutions effectively. Despite the reduction in power, the second iteration was capable of achieving impressive highway fuel efficiency. However, the sluggish acceleration was a key drawback for customers expecting the performance and driving experience associated with large luxury vehicles. Full-size cars like Oldsmobile and Cadillac were meant to provide both comfort and performance, and the diesel engine's lackluster acceleration did not meet those expectations. Together, these inherent limitations, noise, black smoke, cold weather difficulties, and poor acceleration, made the diesel engine a tough sell for luxury and full-size vehicles, further contributing to the Oldsmobile 5.7-liter diesel engine's failure in the marketplace. While the engine showed promise in terms of fuel economy, these drawbacks overshadowed its benefits, and ultimately, the diesel technology of the time was not well suited for the consumer expectations in the luxury and large car segments. GM's attempts to rectify the issues. GM made several attempts to rectify the issues with the 5.7-liter diesel engine, focusing on both technical improvements and expanding its market applications. One of the key changes was reducing the engine's power output to 105 horsepower, with torque dropping to 205 pound-feet. This reduction in power aimed to improve the engine's durability and reliability. Along with this, GM also upgraded the cooling system and addressed major mechanical failures, such as issues with the fuel pump and injection system. These technical improvements helped make the engine more reliable by the end of its production run. In an effort to salvage its diesel program, GM also expanded the engine's application to mid-size cars and pickup trucks, hoping to restore its market position. Additionally, GM introduced smaller diesel engines, such as the 4.3-liter V8, which produced 90 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque, and a 4.3-liter V6 version generating 85 horsepower and 165 pound-feet of torque. Despite these efforts, the damage to GM's reputation was already done. By the end of the engine's production, the lasting negative perception among consumers could not be undone, and GM faced a long road to recovery in the diesel market. The Oldsmobile Diesel V8 stands as a clear example of how a good idea can be ruined by poor execution. While the concept of introducing a diesel engine in passenger vehicles seemed promising, the rushed development and insufficient testing led to a series of technical failures, making it one of the failed diesel V8 5.7 V8 engines. GM's eagerness to meet environmental standards and cost-saving measures ultimately backfired, leaving a tarnished reputation and a fleet of dissatisfied customers. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Muscle Car Masters channel for more fascinating automotive insights.